Okay, so if you are listening to some of these frequency videos, and if you're dealing with cancer, there's something very important I would like to draw your attention to that I think you will find brings you a lot of hope and excitement about what might be possible in terms of solving the cancer dilemma that you're now dealing with in your body. What I would like to draw your attention to is the simple fact that because the human body consists of such a high percentage of water, I forget exactly what it is right now, but it's really high up there. The whole concept of listening to a specific frequency, and that frequency, even if it is supposedly the frequency that is exactly the one that somehow matches the type of cancer that you have. The whole idea of listening to a frequency that you can hear, with your ears, and having it shatter or, burst the cancerous cells in whatever part of your body you have cancer in, it doesn't make sense because your body is filled with water. So if you use the wine glass analogy, which is that there's an opera singer, and if the opera singer sings exactly the right note, aka the right frequency, the wine glass will break. Well, that does not work if the wine glass is filled with water. So there's this misunderstanding here that is what Royal Rife was doing with his original Rife machine way back in the day when he was treating people who had cancer. There's this misconception that he was causing cells to self-destruct using the right frequencies. Now, he was using frequencies, but he was doing it in a very specific way with the right kind of carrier wave that allowed the frequencies to get into the body and have an effect inside the body, despite the fact that the body is such a high percentage of water. But more importantly, the thing that people tend to gloss over is that Rife was actually not bursting, or destroying, yes, that's the right word, cancer cells. What he did is he looked with his special microscope, which allowed him to see things that no one else had ever seen before. And he saw that there was a tiny little life form, organism, tiny little thing inside the cancerous tissue of the people he was working with. At first, he identified this as being a bacteria, but then because he saw this tiny little organism morphing, as in changing shape and size and that kind of thing, he ascribed to it viral properties. He said, oh, okay, well, maybe it makes more sense to call it a virus. So it was those little organisms that he figured out how to destroy with certain frequencies. It wasn't the actual human cells, which are filled with a high degree of water. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important to make this distinction because if you're listening to frequencies that A, aren't going to do anything and that B, don't even have a possibility of, doing what you think that they could possibly do, and you're incorrect about what is the main contributing cause to cancer, then you're not going to get very far. And what Rife thought is that it was these tiny little organisms that were causing the cancer. So the question then is, if he was correct, where do these little organisms come from? Good question. Well, the answer is that these tiny little organisms, which have been referred to as Microzyma by various people, and there's another name for them too that I can't remember right now, but I'll look that up. These tiny little organisms naturally occur in the human body. They're not some invasive pathogen that somehow made it into the body. And if they naturally exist in the body, and if they appear to have some sort of link with cancerous tissue. Rife never said that he witnessed these little organisms actually, constructing a cancer cell. He just said that they were there, they were present in the tumors that he was looking at under his microscope. But if these little organisms, and it's hard, who knows if they were even, alive. What is the definition of alive anyway, right? But anyway, they were in there. Who knows how they got there? Well, I know the answer. The answer is because they're present in your body naturally. We all have billions of these microzyma in our bodies. And the reason that they're associated with cancer tumors is that the body, the brain specifically, is literally commanding these little microorganisms to assist with creating the cancerous tissue. Now, why would the brain instruct the body in any way, shape, or form to create cancerous tissue? I thought cancer was this horrible thing. Why would our bodies turn against us like that? Well, actually, cancer is not, obviously cancer, and specifically treatments for cancer have ruined many lives and caused a lot of death and destruction. But cancer on its own, before you get into treating it with things like radiation and chemotherapy, is actually there to assist your body. Your body creates it as a reflection of what is going on at the level of your consciousness. And it's actually being created in your body in order to help you to survive longer, navigate a certain threat, basically to get through life because of something that's going on at the level of your consciousness. So this is crucial to understand because cancer is a disease of consciousness. The body is just acting out what is happening in your consciousness. And what you need to do, therefore, if you want to uncreate the cancer in your own body, which is what happens without us knowing when we have what are referred to as spontaneous remissions, you need to get down to the root of what is going on inside your consciousness. The mind is an aspect of your consciousness, so I talk about reprogramming the mind-body connection so that you can maximize your chances of having a so-called spontaneous remission. And this is what I teach people to do. Hi, my name's Amanda. I am a channel who works with angelic beings to bring through information about how we can reprogram our mind-body connection to maximize our chances of generating what we think of as a spontaneous remission from cancer. If you'd like more information about how I can help you, please visit ascendyourdna.com.